7. What I got here is the LG Quantum, a Windows Phone 7 device. It's the latest in the series of Microsoft's mobile handsets and their attempts to move to the new market. Of course, I got a lot more with it. I get here my fancy standard edition cardboard packaging, my quick start guide, my certificate of authenticity, what I get when I pay for Windows Phone 7's licensing fees, which comes with a unique ID card. I also got the UVerse On the Road guide. But let's focus on the guts we got. For example, our standard edition crapola headphones, but of course, Windows Phone 7 LG Quantum. As you can see here, in its glory. Now, Windows Phone 7 and LG Quantum is a very different operating system. As opposed to Android, which focuses on different features and so on, Windows Phone 7 focuses on a series of panels, and its Windows Mobile-esque menu system. But we got more to talk about. For example, the guts behind the unit. For example, its standard 3.5-inch WVGA screen, which is around the ballpark of the Touch Pro 2, which is about a year and a half old or so of this device. In comparison, you have the Evo, which is a 4.3-inch screen. As you can see, you get a lot more real estate for your money's worth when you compare the two devices. Another good comparison, though, is that lovely QWERTY keyboard. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later. For now, let's talk about the back. You got a brushed metallic finish, which sports, the nice style to the rest of it, and not as much as a fingerprint magnet as the Evo. It gives it a cool, clean style with the fancy Windows Phone logo down there by the speakers. Not to mention on top, you got your 5-megapixel camera, standard dual LED flash, and LG logo. It's important to note, though, the device also has inside a nippy 1 GHz Snapdragon, which is really a standard when you put it next to that 512 megabytes of RAM. Once again, a standard. A big push, though, 16 gigabytes of internal memory, something you don't usually get with your average device and usually have to pay out of pocket for. You have on the side your volume rockers, dedicated camera key, power button, even a microphone jack. And, of course, you got your microphone, actual playout, and everything else that comes in between. These are all standard with every device. I want to focus, however, is the OS. Windows Phone 7, I like to say, is a hybrid between iPhone and Android. Now, of course, before I jump right into it, I also want to talk about one major feature hardware-wise that is unique to the LG Quantum, and that, of course, is the keyboard. You see, unlike other devices currently on the market, the keyboard is a unique feature that you don't usually get with other devices. For example, the LG Quantum's keyboard, I like to say, is not an eyesore. It's actually a very welcome piece. It's got non-misaligned, but very large dedicated buttons for each of the standard letters on the QWERTY keyboard. Gives you a lot of spacing, gives you your standard caps lock and function keys. No tilting like the HD7, but it gets the job done. Windows Phone 7 is a cross between Android and iPhone. But really, it does lean a lot towards the iPhone. For example, with iPhone's iOS software, there's great attention to the fluidity of the OS and how everything just flows and moves together, with suspension-like multitasking. Meanwhile, though, with Windows Phone 7's panel system, it does lean towards the customization options of Android, and also integration with Bing, how, using just a button on the bottom right-hand corner, you have access to all your news, information, maps, content, voice chat, and basically anything else you may want to do. So it really does have this interest, and it really is a mix after all, but it does have strong focus towards iOS with that Bing as a major focus, considering that's a major investment of Microsoft. So when you really think about Windows Phone 7, it's between a rock and a hard place. If you really can't choose between Android and iPhone, well then this is your perfect device, because it really mixes the two, but at the same time that's a niche that I feel very few people will have. It relies a lot on the cloud, much like Android. But with Metro UI, which is something you will see on not only Windows computers, but also Zune and Xbox, that feeling of integration is very much home to the Apple products of iOS, something I feel Microsoft has been trying to copy in the last couple of years. The system at large, though, has several features unlike Android and iOS, such as Push, where Windows Phone 7 has Push on Google Mail, which is something you can get on iOS, but ironically enough, not on Android without using an Exchange server or one of Google's paid features. This is something to really take into consideration when you're using the device. But there's now a really important focus of the operating system I want to take under consideration, and that is multitasking. So, right about now feels a good time to go over the multitasking features of Windows Phone 7. That being, there aren't any. For example, just to start off with a game, let's start with Helicopter, which is a little game where basically you just press a button and you have to fly a helicopter across the map without hitting the edges, and, well, I just suck at it. But, for example, we had to load up the app, go to the game section, and then load it up. And while it's playing, let's say, I like helicopters. I want to go read up about helicopters on the web. So, let's go to the menu system quite easily, right here on the corner, load up the menu, and load up Internet Explorer. That way we can check out what we want to see on the menu, and maybe, for example, let's check out ppcgeeks.com. Maybe I want to browse the web about helicopters. Who knows? Stuff happens, and you gotta go browse the web while you're playing. So then I go back, and I want to continue playing where I was. So I load back up Xbox Live, find the game in my collection, load it back up, and, well, what do you know? It just restarted the game on me. And what do you know? And as you can see, the game is back to the beginning. This is because Windows Phone 7 does the iOS standard when it comes to suspension rather than multitasking. In reality, it focuses on the present application as opposed to the background applications. Everything in the background is pretty much ignored. That's a really good example of why this sucks, and that's with AT&T Navigator. If you go to AT&T Navigator, you want to, pull up maps, traffic, see what's going on, use the service, considering it does cost a certain amount of money per month. But while you're doing it, you want to go on Bing and find out where a local restaurant is. So let's say you type in a local restaurant, you look for something up, and then you go right back to the Navigator. When you load up Navigator, you'll see it goes right back to the beginning of the application and starts it back up, as opposed to where you left it off. I'm not sure exactly, if this is just some sort of feature of it, but what happens in the long run is this really gives a bad impression towards the ability for the phone to do what it claims. So now that we've gone through the multitasking features of the Quantum in Windows Phone 7, let's talk apps. Now, the easiest way to get your apps is through Windows Marketplace, which you can find either on the menu or you can put it right on your home screen. Now, of course, this is your preference in total regarding the actual marketplace itself. It focuses around that Metro UI style. It has featured apps. It has the LG App Store, the AT&T App Store. It really is unique where it takes Bing's features, combines it with how the manufacturer wants it, like with Android Marketplace, but has that clean and well-polished finish like with App Store from Apple. Now, the big feature I like is the trial system. You see, nobody wants to pay for a game that they find out sucks. With Android, you can buy it and wait and then return it. But even better, with Microsoft and Windows Phone 7, you can just download the trial, see if you like it, and if you don't, get rid of it. Now, along with this, though, there are some pet peeves, I guess you could say, when it comes to my usage of the marketplace in its short time. The biggest of which I have to say, however, has to come down to certain apps. For example, Guitar Hero. When I loaded up the Guitar Hero app, it asked me if I wanted to go to Wi-Fi. Now, do I really want to go to Wi-Fi or go to my computer to finish downloading Guitar Hero? No, I want to play it now. I want to play it when I have it. Unfortunately, this feature kind of got left out of the window when it came to Microsoft's plans, and you have to rely on a computer in order to really get all the features you want on the device. And this really is like holding an attention-required system, and it's really obnoxious. And I don't understand why they did it. I kind of feel the importance was to help reduce data usage, which is something the carriers want. But frankly, I'm not a carrier. I'm a user. Another issue I have with the device is really the update feature in general, where it's been quite buggy. And when it comes to the rest of the apps even available on the market, many of them are duplicates, many of them just don't work. There's a really poor selection of applications on the market. It's not cleaned up, like for example with iOS in the App Store, and it isn't as widely available as, with the store features on Android. But a great feature is Zune. If you love Zune, you're going to love Windows Phone 7. Like with iTunes, it's available, and unlike Android, you got nothing. It really is something you want to remember when you're choosing a Windows Phone 7 device. So while we're on the topic of my compatibility pet peeves, as you could put them, let's just get it out of the way, because this is a really sad issue with the Quantum and something I really wish wasn't the case, and that's the keyboard. There is just no landscape compatibility at all on this device. When it comes to Metro UI, Windows Phone 7 integrating with, the Quantum's own keyboard, it just doesn't exist. And it gets worse. If you were to open up, for example, the Bing software, specifically the Maps application, you may notice that on the actual unit, there's a search button, and then the search mini button. So for example, let's say I'm, in Maps and I want to look up for something interesting or something that I find, of interest. I click the search button in Maps, and look, it doesn't bring me to Map search, it brings me to Bing again, which is ironic, considering, look at right here, you gotta use the miniature search little button on the edge. And this is just really obnoxious, especially when you consider that Windows Phone 7 has to come with Maps for Bing, and even better, has to come with a search button. It's redundant, and there's no landscape compatibility. It really is a very large miss out for the operating system as a whole. It leaves a lot to be imagined. The game section doesn't have landscape compatibility, neither does the marketplace. It really needs an update, which I hope comes with HD7 in the coming ones and soon. A great way to show the power behind both operating systems and their respective cloud sources, that being Android and Bing, would be through their voice capabilities, a feature not used by everyone, but still a great way to show their power. For example, let's say I wanted to learn more about flesh-eating bacteria. For example, necrotizing facilis. Looks like Android's got it right now, but Domino's, not quite, Bing. Let's try that again with necrotizing facilis. Alright, looks like Android got it again, and this time so did Bing. You just gotta slide over to the web tab, little things here and there to get it going. And there you go, you can learn all more about, flesh-eating bacteria. But let's say I want to try something harder. Something a bit more complicated of a word, like anti-disestablishmentarianism. Ironically, Android got it right on the bar, or rather, unexpectedly, while anti-disestablishmentary, not so. By far, another really eyesore-ish feature that has been missing out on Windows Phone 7 is customization, and the ability to customize really your colors and how far off the bar you can really get with it. Now, sure, you can, have that panel system that lets you put anything you want right on home. That's something that I really enjoy about Windows Phone 7. It's something that not really any other device has, because it takes you several steps to get there on Android and iPhone. But with themes, just look. Your choices are just bland. You have light or dark. Not exactly much of a choice. And then you have your myriad of simple colors to accent it, as they put it. This is something that Windows Phone 7 has to really work on. But at the same time, it also needs a lot of work on its app system. There are just not enough applications out there. There's just not enough user interest and developer applications on the market yet. You can have as many features as you want on the phone out of the box, but it comes down to that user interest to get things really going. However, it really reminds me that of Android when it